So you asked me about how do we make the power, more power in the car?
Yes.
Which is mainly on the electric drivetrain, and with our new cell configuration, we put an all-new battery in there with new cells. We were able to increase the energy in the battery from about 7 kilowatt hours to more than 11 kilowatt hours, and even more, we were able to bring in 12 more horsepower into the engine.
That's the key thing is it sounds better. How is that achieved?
The sound of the car, if you're going for the internal combustion engine, we just reworked the exhaust system a little bit. So, and therefore we got a more sportier sound now in the car.
Was that a bigger challenge to get a bigger battery into the same chassis platform, if you will?
It's not a bigger battery if you talk about geometry. It's just a different kind of chemistry within the battery. So it's more energy in the same geometrical battery.
What about the recoup technology? Does that change the recuperation technology? Does that change much from the previous generation?
That's pretty the same. Pretty much
okay.
The same.
What else that's new that you can share with our readers about
the car? First of all, now it's open.
Yeah, so I noticed that.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. Now we got a really, I think, a really beauty. We were able to keep the gull wing doors, as you can see right now, which is not that simple in a car like that. Then we reworked the suspension and the chassis, so it's even when it's open, it's even more sportier than before. We got a new tuning of the steering and the suspension.
Is it a lot more sportier now than before?
It's more precise, I would say. It's
okay.
Sportier. It's not only hard, but it's more sportier. You can drive it more precise if you want to. And
follow-up question to that is, with the wind coming in, the aero, does that affect the stability of the car any? And were there any thought to having to rework the suspension to compensate for that?
The aerodynamics, it worsens a little bit the drag coefficient, so it's a little not that good as the 2+2 seater, but for the downforce, things like that, it's optimized once again. So it's not a big issue.
Okay. So it's not just cutting the top off and calling it a new car.
No, it's more than just the top off, because you have to look at the rigidity of the whole structure. But this is quite good because we're using the carbon fiber cell, and the carbon fiber cell is incredible stiff, so we don't have a big problem in there, which ends up that we only see about 60 kilograms more than in the 2+2 seater, which is a very good figure for open cars.
So there is an increase in weight.
There's an increase in weight.
You almost think that it would be less because you've got less weight.
It looks lighter, but all open cars are heavier than the normal ones. If you normally look at the convertibles, they up to sometimes more than 100 kilograms heavier than the closed one. This is only 60 kilograms.
I don't have Adrian here with me. Can you step in for Adrian and kind of talk about some of the design elements, what was changed and where was cut?
We have Adrian here, but we have Domago here, but I can try to do. So the most interesting, maybe what we really achieved is that we could keep this beautiful line at the rear end of the car, where you can visually see the good aerodynamics of the car, which was quite, let's say, a challenge for us. But in the end, it's just it looks even more beautiful. And we've got now a very low line of the car because missing the top makes the car looking not that high, so it still looks really sporty. Then what you see now is in the interior, we have a new interior line with it's called a Caro, which is this brown and black color in the car, which is very beautiful. We've got a new rims on the car, especially made for the motor car. We have to close the bonnet. If you look at the coupe, the bonnet is normally open. We have to close it because otherwise the heat would intrude into the openness of the car. So now the heat is coming out of the wheel arches at the side of the car. There are some news on the car as well. Now you can see right now the badge on the side, which says Roadster. That is new. So you can immediately see this. It's a new i8 Roadster, and there is a new pair of colors. This one is e-copper cold, and the other one is Donington Grey. So maybe that's
Can you put the top up while it's in motion?
Yeah, you can put the top up. It only needs you about 15 seconds to open it, and you can do it up to 50 kilometers per hour.
50 kilometers.
50 kilometers per hour.
Can we walk over really quick and kind of point out some of the design elements that you just spoke of? So it's fully carbon now?
It's as the coupe was before. It's a carbon cell. So where you're sitting in, it's all made out of carbon. The doors they look the same, but they're new. They're still out of carbon fiber with an aluminum outer shell to make it as light as possible. Even the rooftop uses some parts which are made out of carbon fiber to make it as light as possible. We, let's say, at the end, they kicked out the 2 seats in the rear because we need the space for the retractable rooftop system. But there is still additional space now in the car, just behind the 2 seats. There is about 100 liter of additional room for bags and things like that. So if you want to go there, and in the end, as I said before, we were able to keep the beautiful line in the rear end of the car, which is still very aerodynamic efficient, because still we at the 0.28 on the 6 drag coefficient, which is for a sports car like that extremely good. We don't need an additional spoiler at the rear end because even the drag the downforces are quite good on the car.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, still. Because in the beginning, this was aerodynamic was the core of making the i8.
Do you feel like that changes the look quite a bit from the rear?
It changes the look because it looks a little bit flatter than the coupe, because the coupe has a longer hood because there are 2 seats at the rear end, and so we can go with the line down quite early.
So let's talk about storage really quick here. What are we doing for storage?
So it's different because we missed out the 2 seats at the rear end. A part of this room we need for the rooftop, but another part we were able to use for an additional storage room in the car, which you can see back here. It's approximately 100 liters of additional storage room. So if you want to go on the weekend, just
so that's about a duffel bag size for a couple.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So you can see it even better with that.
And does that open up for additional?
Yeah, it's just to separate
Got
a
it.
little bit back there, because if you got a smaller bag in there, now it wouldn't move around if you drive sporty. It's just a pretty simple and lightweight construction, which makes it more functional.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.